Welcome back everyone to our playthrough of the career mode here in NASCAR Heat 2. So in our last video at Atlanta, our first mile-and-a-half race of the season here in the Cup Series, and I was disappointed. Really no way around it. I put in a setup that I thought was going to be decent, and I thought it was going to give us a shot at least a top 10, possibly a top 5 or better, but I did not expect us to run away with it and really mow down the field as much as we did. I mean, not only did we take the lead, but we lapped up to almost half the cars in the field by the end of the race. And you got to keep in mind, I mean, that was less than a fuel run for a total race. So again, not real happy with how that turned out. The whole point of this series and the whole point of the career mode for us is to have as much fun as we can racing with the AI, and that just didn't happen. So far into the season, we're 2 races in, and I already know we're going to have to make some changes because we're 2 races in and we've already won 2 races. So we're definitely going to the playoffs. That much we know at this point. And now we head on to Vegas, our second mile-and-a-half track of the year. Now, granted, every track is different, so we could take the exact same setup that we used at Atlanta. We could take that to Vegas, and who knows, maybe we struggled to crack the top 10. But I'm not going to take that chance. We're going to make a few adjustments. I think Vegas will be a little bit more difficult because of the difference in the corners, difference in the banking, you know, some different subtle differences like that. But we're definitely going to make a few changes, and we're just going to see what happens. At this point, we really got nothing to lose. It's all about having fun, so let's head to Vegas. Before we get the race started, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the setup. And as I mentioned, I'm going to make a few changes here. The changes I'm going to make are, again, the front springs I'm using simply because it's a very bumpy track, and just to help us reduce some of the chatter of the front end of the car whenever you're going over these bumps. That's why those are changing. As soon as we get out of these first few tracks, which are very bumpy, then I'll go back to our normal front spring setup. But in the rear of the car, only 50 pounds of rear spring split here at this track, and then on the track bar, you can see I've reduced it from 9 inches on both sides to 8 inches on both sides. So those are the 2 changes I made. Let's see what kind of difference they make. All right, green flag. We are underway here at Vegas. So once again, as has become customary for us, we are running with no practice laps and no qualifying, starting in the back. So let's see what we've got. I'm going to try to be, well, I say I want to be fairly simple with this and safe, but the AI are going even slower than I thought. Get down here on the bottom. Let's be very easy going into the corner here. A lot of bumps, a lot of bumps. And apparently the AI are having lots of trouble getting over the bumps because we are passing these guys left and right. All right, applying brake going into the corner. Oh, hello. So he wanted to get back to our inside. No problem. Do what you got to do. Did not want to be on the outside, though. Again, half throttle going into the corner. See what these guys are going to do. Once again, the answer is not much. They are very slow coming off the corner. Really want to get back down to this inside though. Yeah, we're a lot faster than these guys coming off the corner. Man, even running half throttle, we're a lot faster. I feel like we're hiking out here instead of running over a racetrack with all the bumps. Yeah, I mean, we're just killing these guys coming off the corner. Even as tight as this car is right now, and trust me, it is very, very tight, particularly on entry. I mean, I'm backing completely out of the gas, and this thing does not want to turn. A lot of that is the bumps. But you can see, as soon as I get back to the throttle, we are just, it's like we have a rocket ship compared to the AI cars. Woo. Alright, the 27 wants to get under me, but I just don't have the speed. Alright, so they're going to try to jump right back underneath me, but as always, they simply don't have the speed. So we're up to the top 15 after 6 laps. That's troubling. Let's try this high side a little bit now that things are more strung out. Again, when you can catch them one at a time, the high side is a very good option. Because you generally don't have to worry about them giving you enough room on the high side when it's just 1-to-1. Woo! Kurt Busch, please. All right, there we go. Get away from him a little bit. All right, see if he can hang with us coming off the corner. I doubt it. And sure enough, he cannot. So we can see the top 10 now. Very, very tight going into the corner. I really need to be lifting earlier than I am, because I'm having to use much more brake than I would have thought, and I'm not using very much. It's just so tight getting into the corner. Look at Suarez, you can tell struggling coming off the corner. Alright, really good drive through 3 and 4 that time. Got a little bit of a clear track here, running 11th. 26 laps to go. So it took us 10 laps, or basically 9 laps actually, to get to basically the top 10 anyway. Not quite top 10, but we are right there knocking on the door in only 9 laps. Not good. Alright, I'm actually quite enjoying this open track that we've got to ourselves now. Less to worry about with the AI. I can run whatever groove I want, and right now I'm kind of liking this second groove down here in 3 and 4. I know I prefer it in turns 1 and 2. Alright, we'll get out of the gas way early going into turn 1. This group of cars, this is a lot of positions at stake here, and I'm going to try to take this easy. And by easy, I mean we're going to go 3 wide at some point, I'm sure. Ooh, watch out, Kevin Harvick. Okay, you just don't get to do that in the middle of a corner. Where do you find the grip to do that mid-corner? Ooh. Look at that, 3 wide. There they go. Let's hope they make it out the other side. Alright, trying to let these guys get this sorted out, but they just continue to run side by side. Nope, I wanted no part of that. Alright, so let's give them a minute here. If I get a good run, I will take it 3 wide if I have to just try to clear some of this mess, if they won't get it straightened out on their own. easy. Oh, and we got... Yikes. And that's why it's always a risk to take it 3 wide with these guys. Alright, so we'll regroup. Try to catch back up. Yeah, the AI have absolutely no problem punting you out of the way. That's why when I make those comments about how the AI need to be improved, I mean, they're going to run their groove at their speed, and if you happen to be in the way, they'll just move you out of the way. I mean, they'll just punt you with no second thoughts. So you have to be careful about that kind of stuff. Trying to give them room generally comes back to bite you, but I continue to do it anyway because that's just how I race. So you can see we're reeling these guys back in. This is not, it's not like they ran away from us. They should have. And it would really, really be nice of them to get single file and make this a lot easier for us. That does not appear as though it is going to happen. These guys are just all going to run right there together. All right, let's back off really early there. Try to get a little run on them. Just judge how close I can get to them. See if I can weave our way. Ouch! See, even Jimmy Johnson is laying licks on me, and I was doing nothing to hinder his progress. Just setting these guys up. Trying to get ourselves some room so that we can eventually try to come through all of this 3 wide mess that's going on. But every little bit of ground I can make up in these corners is getting me closer and closer to being through all of this stuff. And if I can do it without hitting them or them hitting me, that'll be even better. Oh, and there we go. And they're right back to it. The miraculous grip of the AI, ouch. Alright, something tells me we're not likely to make it through this alive. Holy cow. All right, one more car. My goodness. One more car and we get to the top 5 and we get away from all this stuff and we can get out into some open track. Which I am very much looking forward to.
Hold the bottom. Hold your line.
Alright, that was a good job by Harvick there, fighting back on the high side.
Easy, easy.
But personally, I'm just setting him up. Just trying to go as far into the corner as I can. Making up a little bit here and a little bit there until I can find a spot to actually clear him. And then once we can clear him, it's almost like they go into extra mode whenever you get to where you're fighting for position, and they go a lot faster. But then as soon as you clear them, it's like they just give up and you start pulling away from them pretty quick. Ooh, pulled right down in front of me and then stopped. There's only so many times that will work out for you.
You're low, stay low. Steady.
And again, he's going to keep fighting it out there, which is perfectly fine by me.
Clear, clear.
All right, let's see if I can put together a few good corners and pull away from him. So that gets us to the top 5 with what? Yeah, 10 laps to go. And I believe that is the 42 car right in front of us of Larson. So we're trying to track him down, but we've made it to the top 5. And let's face it, had we not had that very weird few laps of racing, or several laps of racing, with that group, we would have been much farther along by now, which still gives me concern over the setup and just how much speed we have compared to the AI. So we're definitely reeling in Larson here. Car is bouncing around all over the place, which is why I'm having to use a little bit of brake getting into both corners. Alright, here in the next lap or so we should be able to set up Larson for a pass, and already you can see he's gone to the bottom to try to block us. Because he knows if we go down lower than what he's going to pass him, which is definitely there,
Get to the bottom. Hold your line. Clear up top.
then he knows that we would have a terrible entry into the corner, terrible angle, and he could probably hang with us on the outside. So it's not a bad strategy. Right now, I'd definitely say we're getting through turns 3 and 4 better than 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is just not any fun unless you've got a car that's set up to handle the bumps. And we definitely do not. We're not terrible. I mean, obviously we're up to 4th from 40th on the grid, so we're not terrible. But it's just not particularly fun to drive over all these bumps right now. Alright, in front of us, I wonder how many of these are lead lap cars. Ouch!
Only 5 laps left.
Alright, here we go again. Well, what do we have here? Alright, so this race is definitely not going to be at the top of my list of fun races going forward. You can see Larson catching us from behind. Not particularly worried about that. And a whole lot of lap traffic here.
Real tight.
Whole lot of lap traffic.
Clear.
Alright, 3 laps to go, so we're almost done. I do not see 3rd place in front of us. Of course, I can't tell exactly who everybody is. Looks like the 24 car, about 3 cars in front of us. He might be in 3rd. No, wait, never mind. Logano in front of us. Okay, I did not recognize that as Logano's car in front of us. I actually thought that was one of the lap cars. Looks like he's having a... Oh! And now Kennington decides to run up the track and give him room. All right, so we got a lap and a half to get a podium. And let's see what we've got now that he's clear of the lap traffic. All right, let's run it in here on the high side. See if we can get a good run off the corner. Lap car may help us out.
Stay low. Hold your line. Inside.
Oh! Wow. All right, Logano, I got you. So he shoves us out of the way. I don't think I'm going to be able to get back to him. All right, so nope, he's going to take it. So Logano takes third. We'll come home fourth. And that was not fun. That was just not fun at all. Not because of the track so much, but because of a few AI run-ins we had. Just kind of ruins the experience for me. Hard racing I like, but not some of the stuff that was going on. But so be it. We'll take our finishing position. We'll move on. All right, so it looks like we were about 3 seconds out of the lead. So not very far at all. So now we're almost $10.5 million in our bank account, which is almost like taunting us at this point. So Kyle Busch brings home the victory. So no real surprise there. Brad Kay, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Larson, all these guys at the top of the point standings is not a shock. All right, we had the fastest lap again. That's troubling because I thought we had slowed the car down, but all right, so we'll go back to the drawing board. We'll keep working on it. Oh, and we have momentum. That is not what I wanted to see. Momentum is not what we want right now. But we will try to adjust for that. Oh, we got a message.
Congrats on making it to the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Good luck out there.
You've been doing really well out there. Your whole team is on fire. Keep the momentum going.
Okay. All right, a couple of short messages there from Blaney and Logano. So now that gets us through. Really, Daytona is not really an indicator of anything since Daytona and Dega are very different from everything else on the calendar. But we've now gotten 2.5 miles under our belt, and we were extremely fast at both of them. So that's going to give me some food for thought on what I want to try next on the cars. To try to slow us down a little bit, try to get us back in the pack a little bit more. But now we head to Phoenix, our first short track race of the season. And that's going to be interesting, but of course that will be in our next video. For now, thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more of our playthrough of NASCAR Heat 2.